Well, we had yet another tragic school shooting. And so I want to start the program where we have started too often. Our hearts break for the victims and their families and the entire community affected by this senseless act of violence. I'm a parent. I'm a concerned citizen. All of us fear for the safety of our children and our loved ones. We share the same goal of creating a safe and secure environment for everyone, but especially in the places of learning and growth. It is natural for all of us to feel anger and fear during these times. And it may seem unnatural to rise above it, but we must. Because it's essential to remember that we have to come together as a society. We must come together and address the root causes of violence. And it's not the gun, but rather the misuse of them by individuals who are mentally ill or have a criminal intent. I, for one, want to address the problem of gun violence. I am worried about this with my own children. Every American, I don't care who you voted for, feels the same. But enough is enough. When will we address mental health? Do you know the damage that we have done to our children just because of COVID? The damage to their mental health. Look at the suicide rate. What is causing all of this? It is the loss of the old guards of our civilization. There are a few areas I think we need to address. First, the parents and families. I'm sorry. We love you. Our society is sick. It is sick and unrecognizable to most of us. Your loved ones have paid the ultimate price for that illness. And I say I'm sorry because I'm part of the society that has an unwillingness to see the truth, apparently. To the mother of the 27-year-old shooter, I've read your old posts. You've been fighting against guns in school. While we disagree, we both want this violence to end. And then I've read your post about your children and how proud you are, and the moments of beauty. You feel like every mom and dad feels about their child, and you were right to feel that way. Today, how confused you must be. You should know we love you too. You lost a child as well. You lost a child to the same society that has an unwillingness to see the truth. But you should also know you're part of our community, and we mourn with you as well. Now, to the political class and the media elites. You have been dividing us for years. At first, I think I was a part of that. I've tried really hard not to be. But you're not sincere in anything you do. I don't know. At first, maybe you thought you were right. And then every time society proved you wrong, you just dug your heels in. Now I don't know. Now is it just a win over your opponent? Is it just crush the other side? Is it because you believe that everyone who doesn't vote your way is evil? Or is it that you just no longer care? I'm one American among, I think, many that no longer believe in you. I can understand why thinking people vote differently than me. I can. And those people aren't the problem. The problem begins with the people that only care about money or power, or so arrogant that they think they know better than the rest of us, and they make themselves or their system into a false god. The arrogance. You go after the disaffected, the weak, and the hopeless, and you prey on these things, promising to be their savior, if they will only help you gain power over those who you call their enemies. You have lied. You have lied through half-truths. You've lied through omission. You've lied through fabrications. You've distorted the truth to where it's no longer recognizable. You call men women and women men. In your world, our children are legally children until 25 for insurance purposes, yet adult enough to alter their own bodies at 8. You have called evil good and good evil. We do not have a gun problem in America. Per capita, there were more guns 100 years ago than there are right now. They didn't have these problems. Is it the gun or is it the people? What we have in America is a truth problem. We have turned ourselves inside out. We have turned ourselves against the basic principles that gave us life and freedom. Oh, in the promise of a fuller life, our women have no more children and our men have lost all meaning, reason, and faith. From the beginning of time, as Kipling noticed, you promised us perpetual peace. You swore if we just give you our weapons, that the wars of the tribe would cease. But we know if you disarm us, you'll sell us and deliver us bound to our foe. You know, just yesterday, the Wall Street Journal released a poll that showed what American principles we value most. Children, God, family. They were last in the list. Money was in the top 3. Money? Since when has money become a principle? I guess since money is the God that so many worship. Money over principles every time a corrupt bank is bailed out. Money over principles any time we make those who never want to pay their school tuition. Every time we make somebody pay for that tuition that didn't go to school, I guess it's money over principles. What kind of God do we worship that make children flawed? And the gods in the surgical gowns can mutilate and sterilize them to make them just the way they were intended. That's an ancient God that I don't recognize. We all know the words that were written in the summer of 1776. We hold these truths. But other words were written later that year, when things weren't so sunny. It was December 21st. These are the times that try men's souls. That turned our nation around. These are the times that try men's souls, and the modern-day patriots, the lovers of truth and justice. Justice for all men, all women. And yes, we can define that. We must stand firm in the face of an ever-growing storm of disinformation, discord, division. The weak-hearted are not going to be able to weather this storm, but those with the courage to fight for what is true will emerge victorious. We live in a time when our faith in institutions, our faith in everything we know, where our very democracy, our republic, is under siege. The way out is to remember the principles. We are drowning in a sea of lies. Cling to the life raft. Cling to the enduring belief in life and liberty, truth and justice. We'll only be able to find our way out if we can rekindle the flame of unity and embrace the American spirit that carried us through so many crises before. We've been here before. But this time, our American crisis, we have to constantly remind ourselves that it's not an external enemy that we conquer, but the internal divisions that are threatening to tear us apart, and those divisions that are created by monsters of men who are not just tearing us apart individual from individual, but tearing us and our children apart from the inside out. America, it is high time to reaffirm our commitment to the values that define us as a people. It is our collective responsibility as free people to stand up for those principles of truth. The seeds of division have been sown by those who seek to manipulate and exploit us for their own gain. To shatter our trust in one another, to instill fear and hatred where there should be understanding and compassion. Truth is now clouded by conspiracy. The lines between fact and fiction have been blurred. Truth is a light. Everything we face is not insurmountable. But now is the time to return to truth and decency and justice for all. Our kids are the ones who are going to pay the highest of prices for what we do now.